We have several meetings that we have later on today, and we have to be done by 10:45 this morning. So most of you know me. Good morning. I'm happy to see you. My name is Ann McCauley. And for those of you who might be new, I am the director of the Rural Opioids Technical Assistance Project, otherwise known as ROTA. And I'm going to talk to you today about how to become a Prosper-ready community. So first slide, Chiquita.
1 second. Let me make sure I am in position correctly.
Okay, and actually we'll jump to the second one.
Okay, this is where you want to be?
Yes, ma'am, thank you. So the Prosper Partnership Model is a delivery system that strengthens families through community partnerships and programs. And the goal is to support substance use prevention among youth. Prosper is an evidence-based delivery model that reduces risky behavior for youth and enhances positive development in strong families. Next slide, please. The effort builds on collaborations between the local school districts, University of Missouri Extension, prevention partners, our core grantees, and community stakeholders that support teams as they implement evidence-based school and family programs. So you'll learn more in a little bit about teams, but you'll be forming teams to implement the Prosper model. And these are the partners and the key stakeholders in that formation. Next slide, please. There are several goals to Prosper, but mainly the goal is to delay the initial onset of substance use. We want to prevent teen substance misuse, and we want to prevent behavioral health challenges. We also want to strengthen families and parenting skills, and we want to build strong families. Next slide, please. In this community school partnership, the 7-week Strengthening Families program, 10 to 14, offers 6th grade students life skills training in their classrooms. It also is coupled with a 7-week either evening or weekend session that brings together 6th grade youth and their parents and guardians. Next slide, please. The 7-week Strengthening Families program improves family cohesion and builds protective skills. Because Prosper contains a family and a school program, youth are supported in the 2 most important domains of their lives, their homes and their schools. The programs are based on research, and the research shows that positive parental guardian involvement helps youth to resist substance use and other risky behaviors. Where youth do end up misusing substances, it often delays the onset. The model that we're going to talk to you about today includes lessons to help parents and guardians improve conflict resolution skills and communication skills and to enhance their parental management. Next slide, please. Although there are separate parent and guardian youth programs during the sessions, everyone comes together as families during the last hour of each session to practice the skills that they've learned. Sessions are highly interactive and will include things like role-playing, discussions, learning games, and family projects. Next slide, please. At this time, we would like to show you a short video that better explains the program.
Can you hear the sound of the video?
No.
Okay, just
No.
a second. Hold on.
You were a teenager once, and as you know, the teenage years were an awkward time of transition. Your body changed, your voice changed, but that wasn't the only thing that was happening. You also started driving, going to parties, dating, and making your own decisions. You've made mistakes along the way. Some you've learned from, some you've paid for, and others.
Oh, no.
It played well this morning. I watched it.
Can you not hear it?
You were a teenager once.
I know.
And as you know, the teenage years were an awkward time of transition. Your body changed, your voice changed.
We can't hear you, Chiquita.
You were a teenager once. And as you know, the teenage years were an awkward time of transition. Your body changed, your voice changed, but that wasn't the only thing that was happening. You also started driving, going to parties, dating, and making your own decisions. You've made mistakes along the way. Some you've learned from, some you've paid for, and others you really regret. Today's teens are going through all of the same changes and problems, but they are also exposed to many different challenges and influences. 39% of today's teens have tried alcohol by the 8th grade, and 19% have used an illicit drug by the 8th grade. Raising a teen is a constant struggle against the negative influences, including pressure to take chances and make poor decisions. The good news is families don't have to do it alone. There is something that can help kids and communities. It's called Prosper. Prosper helps caring adults reach out to kids and families before problems start. Prosper begins a partnership between the local extension office and the school. This partnership reaches out to other community partners who care about youth and families. Together, they offer programs that have been proven to reduce substance use and other problem behaviors. In just 1 year, a community and its teams start to prosper. Kids who participate in Prosper programs are more likely to avoid alcohol and drugs. Kids are 40% less likely to be aggressive and destructive in the classroom, at home, to their parents, and to authority. Over time, Prosper communities reach more and more youth and families, so that communities see fewer kids get into trouble. Families learn how to communicate better and become closer. Kids become better students in the classroom, helping them earn a higher GPA, and positive peer pressure becomes the norm. Prosper is here to make a difference in every kid's life. It invests in our kids and our community. You can make a difference by investing in Prosper, because when kids prosper, we all do.
Thank you, Chiquita. At this time, I would like to introduce you to Shanna Sorg, your County Engagement Specialist in Nutrition and Health for Extension. Shanna has been the team leader for Prosper in Madison County, and she helped us to pilot Prosper in Missouri. She is here today to share her experiences, and we are so beholden to her. We can't thank her enough, because she was instrumental in getting Prosper off the ground in our state. What we'd like to do is build upon her work and what she has done, and allow those of you who are able to start this model in your communities. So Shanna, I'm going to turn this over to you.
Thank you, Ann, and good morning, everyone. Families Flourishing Fredmo is the name of our Prosper implementation team in Madison County. That team is key to getting Prosper moving forward in the community. And as the extension agent within the Prosper model, I'm the team leader. The team is the individuals that come together, excuse me, and focus on all the different various aspects of getting Prosper moving forward. And the University of our Iowa State University has done a great job putting together some resources and tools to help identify those individuals in our communities that are crucial to making the implementation team successful. Within the Prosper model, we've got the school liaison and the behavioral health or community health representative. And those two members are really important to the team moving forward because the life skills training is offered in the schools. So you have to have that school liaison, that person that you can connect with at the school district to help move the life skills courses, the lessons forward in the classrooms. And the school liaison has also, for us in Madison County, been very instrumental in the Strengthening Families program. That's the second program within Prosper, the one that is offered to parents and students. We've held our classes at the school and promoted the program and recruitment of the parents through the school's connections with the families. So that having a good connection with that school liaison has been really important and influential to our success in Madison County. And we have a team member from the public health realm, our public health department, but with COVID being such a, the health departments were just covered up with COVID responsibilities and dealing with that situation over the past year or so. So our public health person hasn't been has not been as involved as we would have liked to seen her, but it was a pandemic. So we just moved forward and the health department was as helpful as they could be throughout the year. And that connection was really important too with the health department in our community because that is where our Madison County Opioid Crisis Task Force, a community coalition that's dedicated to addressing the opioid crisis in the community. So they have a lot of connections with other organizations that are focused on the same thing that Prosper focuses on, that prevention piece. So while the health department wasn't as active as we would have liked to seen them, they were able to help us connect with other organizations that were focusing in that same area. Like I said, the Prosper model, it's that extension agent, that school liaison, and that public health person that really drive things. But we also have team members that are parents within the school district with students that are getting ready to enter grade 6 this year. So it's great to have their perspective on moving forward in the community and gathering the support in the community. We've also had a few business owners step up once they understand what Prosper is and what it's focusing on. They were extremely excited to partner with us. And as soon as you say youth drug prevention, a lot of organizations and businesses want to know how they can help, because in our community, they see that as something that definitely needs to be addressed. And it's a great opportunity to let them know that extension is working towards that problem. So working towards making a better future for the kids. That's really, for me, that's where my passion has been, just knowing that we're putting those kids on a more positive youth development path, getting the families involved. It's been awesome being part of the Strengthening Families classes. We've offered two separate series in Madison County, and we haven't had huge numbers of parents participate, families participate. That's a challenge, recruiting families to participate, because you're asking families to dedicate quite a bit of time, but we have had success, and it was our first year, and we're happy with where we are with our numbers for the year. We had 7 families complete the Strengthening Families series with their sixth graders, and you get to experience and see them learn every week and see their communication skills grow as a family. And the work that you're doing is going to provide good outcomes for the kids. So that's been extremely rewarding. Does anybody have any questions? I'm not going to be able to stay on the whole call. I have another engagement I have to get to here shortly.
No questions for Shanna? Okay, Shanna, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate your being willing to pave the way for the rest of us and being such a leader in the state with this project. And we look forward to hearing lots of good things and results and with what comes about for your families in the future. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ann.
You can see the photos that Shanna has placed into the slides that really indicate or show families and how they are participating in the program.
Thank you, Chiquita. If you could go to the next slide, please. So there are several steps to the process of becoming a Prosper community. Any RCORE grantee who's interested in participating is invited to complete an assessment. And the assessment will actually be used to select 4 to 6 communities to implement the Prosper model. The successful candidates will be receiving financial assistance. They'll be able to use these funds to implement the Prosper model in their local communities. Successful assessments are going to be based on key indicators that focus on the strength between the prevention partners, including RCORE and Extension, with a focus also on the local school district as a partner, the community as partners, and then the ability to sustain the model beyond the funding period. Candidates who are selected have to be passionate about working as a team to implement a comprehensive approach to youth prevention in their communities. Without the passion, the Prosper model doesn't work. Next slide, please. Once selected, programs must be ready to begin on September 1st. You will receive financial assistance and it will pay for things like your curriculum, your training for your school representatives and your facilitators. There will also be funding that will cover training, educational supplies, promotional meetings. And you must form a team, and your group or your team must be prepared to participate in monthly meetings. And your meetings could be formed through a subcommittee of your RCORE consortium or any other means. And perhaps you've already got a team formed and you're already meeting in this area. This could be a continuation for that group. If you're interested in Prosper, it's a good idea to start a dialogue with your prospective school partners now, talking to them about this, what it entails, getting buy-in, and then begin to recruit some team members who could become very valuable to your effort. And also start to identify any other supports that you could receive from your community. Next slide, please. There are some key dates that I would like to share.
And before you go to the next slide, can I make one statement about?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
So as you're beginning to have those conversations with your school partners and your recruiting team members, those team members will be trained as soon as we, approve the, do the assessment and select the communities. Those team members will be trained, and that training is going to take place sometime in September. So you all be trained together. Just a second.
Thank you, Chiquita. Next slide, please. So there are some dates that you might want to know ahead of time as you begin to put your assessment together. There are virtual Prosper orientation training sessions, as Chiquita said, and they are on September 1st, the 8th, and the 9th from 12 to 4. And then there's also an in-person SPF facilitator training that is scheduled for the 27th, 28th, and 29th of September. So if you are interested in becoming a Prosper Ready community, please complete and submit the assessment. At this time, I'm going to turn this over to Angela Johnson, and she is going to explain a little bit about the assessment, how to fill it out, how to navigate the site. And I see that there is a question in the chat asking if these slides will be available. Yes, we are recording this and we will have it available for you to watch at your leisure. We also know that there were several people who couldn't attend today, and they will be able to preview this as well. Okay, Angela, I'm going to turn this over to you.
Great, thank you. Can you enable screen sharing for me when you get a second? Thanks. So yeah, I think most of y'all know about the Opioid Hub, but just in case you don't know me, my name is Angela Johnson. I work as a senior research project analyst with CARES. We're the Center for Applied Research and Engagement Systems. We're also part of the University of Missouri Extension. If you're not familiar with us, we are a mapping and data analysis center, and we've been working with groups primarily in the health and in the community development spheres for several decades now, actually, primarily supporting them with data collection and data analysis needs. So with, let's see, am I sharing there? Can you see my screen now? Okay,
Yes.
great. So with, in terms of our work with this project, with support initially from the Missouri Rural Health Association and a few others, we built out the Rural Opioids Response Data Hub at opioids.engagementnetwork.org, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. The hub was initially built out of a need for the central repository for opioid-related data to support grant applications, community presentations, and other reporting needs. So it's grown over time to include tools to support primary data integration by enabling user data upload. It now includes several zip code level hospitalization data from the Missouri Hospital Association. But we're here again today because we're also now supporting the new Prosper project by providing the assessment tool, or really the application, which basically serves as your application for becoming a Prosper ready community. So to access the assessment, you can find this brand new button on the Hub's homepage. The Prosper assessment button here kind of takes you to this informational landing page describing the Prosper delivery system, which you just heard about. Imagine we can also link to the recording from the page here of this information session. So on this page, at the bottom of this page, you'll find 3 buttons. To access the assessment, you'll find it the application. You'll click this first button here, which will actually be enabled or turned on June 25th on Friday. Right now it's inactive. You can also find assessment instructions, which will kind of walk you through step by step how to complete the assessment. And then there's a button to create an account, because in order to complete the assessment, you'll need an account. It's free, username, password, just registration is all you'll need there. I thought the best way to maybe walk through the application might be to use the instructions page. So I'll just go ahead and pop that open here and kind of walk you through the actual application as I go through the instructions. That way, if there's anything that's unclear, we can go ahead and make edits to this instructions or information page before the actual application go live date. So kind of just scrolling down here again, there's some important dates to remember here that I think we've gone over. July 12th is the assessment deadline. It's a very short and sweet application, so it shouldn't take you much time after you've really identified and those community partners that will be supporting you in the process. So to start a new application, again, there will be that Begin Prosper assessment or application button on that informational landing page, which will be activated on June 25th on Friday. Or if you have this instructions page open, you can directly click on this link here, which works today for me, but will be turned off at the end of this presentation here. So let me go back to that. I was hoping to see the logged out version of that. Let's do that real quick. There we go. So as you can see, I'm not logged in right now. I do have an account. So if I just click the login button, I will be able to enter my username password for this particular site. And then I will be taken to this page here. And for your view, you'll just see, unless you have already started an assessment, this button here to start a new assessment. After I click on that, get my instructions up here so I can walk through exactly what we say to do. So when I start my new assessment, the first thing that I'm asked to do is to select a school district. This should be an individual school district located in the community that you serve, and it'll be the location basically for your Prosper delivery work. So if I just go ahead and select any school district, in the report here, my little interface will navigate to it. I'll see which one I've selected. I have the radio dial button here as well. And that part is done. Then the next step 3 from my instructions here is just creating a title. The default title is Prosper application. You might want to enter something a little more informational, like the name of your coalition or the school district or both. Step 4 in the instructions is about viewing the quantitative assessment. So this is a data report very similar to the data report that you would see if you created a new opioid assessment, if you're familiar with the Hub's opioid assessment at all. It's not required that you actually view the data report for your school district that you serve, but we know that many of your coalitions serve multiple school districts if it's a multi-county area. So you would, potentially be able to see information about risk factors or measures of substance abuse and some of the demographics of that school district. If there's something that helps you make a decision in that report, you can click that button to view the data report for that particular community or school district rather, and the data that are associated with that. So going back to the instructions page here, there's also in that instructions document, there's some guidance for the reporting interface in general, which might be useful not just for viewing the Prosper school district level data report, but for the opioid assessment report in general as well. So the final part of the application really are these various qualitative assessment questionnaires or questionnaire areas. So it's really just a series of qualitative based data questions designed again to assess your community readiness and support for delivering Prosper. So these include Likert scale questions, ranked on a scale of 1 to 5, yes, no questions, and then some short answer questions. And that is basically the how to complete the assessment. Once you've selected your school district and completed the various questionnaires, you just go down to the very bottom of the page to submit the assessment. When you're ready when it's completed and ready for review, you would go ahead and change this radio dial button here to ready for review, and then hit the update assessment progress button. We do know that you may want to revisit this application over a series of a few days. So if you are at the phase where you've made some comments and aren't quite ready to submit, you can hit the not ready for review and update assessment progress. And then that way you'd be able to return to this assessment basically to complete it at a later time. If that was the case, you would basically go back to this, the begin assessment location. That link isn't active, so I'll have to get back to it directly. This page here, where I can, as you saw earlier, I can hit start a new assessment, or I can then go back and edit one that I've already started. Hitting that edit button basically takes me back to that exact interface. I didn't make any edits here, but you can see that was the Adair County School District that I had selected just a moment ago. You can also view the assessment in basically the form that the reviewers will be seeing it after it's completed to make sure everything's there. This one's pretty much empty, so there's not much to view there, but yeah, and that's I think essentially the step-by-step guide. Are there any questions, anything I missed, or anything that we can, I guess, make more clear on the instruction page there.
Does anyone have any questions for Angela about the navigation or